I think most people are massively underestimating what's happening right now. They think that AI is another tech trend, right? Another productivity app, another piece of software they'll eventually have to learn. And I don't think that's what's happening in any way, shape, or form. I think we're standing in one of those moments that is going to change everything that we know about everything in life and business. The internet changed how information was moved. Smartphones changed how we lived. And AI is changing how humans think and also work. Now, whenever something this big comes along, two things are going to happen. Some people panic, other people ignore it, and then a small group of people quietly learn how it works and build enormous advantages. We've seen this with the Industrial Revolution and also the Digital Revolution as well. My goal today isn't to turn you into an AI engineer. It's to simply help you understand enough that you can stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling excited by it like I obviously am. Because honestly, AI isn't nearly as complicated as people make it sound. And in the next 17 minutes, I'm going to show you what AI actually is, what it can do, what it cannot do, and how I think we should all be really excited and think about it moving forwards. So let's start with the biggest misunderstanding. Most people use AI as though they're speaking to another person. And that's the first mistake, because AI doesn't understand language the way that you and I do. It will predict language. So let me show you in a bit of a random way. If I say, twinkle, twinkle, little, your brain immediately says, star. You didn't calculate it, you didn't predict it, because you've seen that pattern before. And AI works quite similar, except instead of nursery rhyme, it's been trained on huge amounts of text and context. Books, articles, research papers, conversations, websites, code, patterns, lots and lots of patterns. So when you ask AI something, it isn't opening a secret filing cabinet full of answers. It's doing something closer to this. Based on everything I've seen, what is the most likely next word? And then the next, and then the next, and then the next. That's why AI can feel incredibly intelligent. And it's also why it occasionally says something which is almost a little bit ridiculous. And we know that because it's not perfect, because it's constantly predicting, not just understanding. That one idea will change a lot for you, because now you understand why vague questions usually create vague answers. The machine is guessing, and the less information that you give it, the more that it has to guess. This explains also something else. Why do some people get incredible results from AI while others think it's useless? It's the exact same tool. It's just different instructions. Imagine that you hired an incredibly intelligent employee tomorrow. Would you walk into the office and say, do this for me? Of course you wouldn't. You'd explain who the customer is, what the goal is, what success looks like, what you've already tried, what you don't want. And the more context that that person has, the better the result. AI works exactly the same way. The quality of your output is usually connected to the quality of your instructions. And I call this taking aim. A is for actor. Who should AI behave like? I is for input. What information does it need? And M is for mission. What exactly are you trying to achieve? Instead of fix my CV, try act as a recruiter hiring agency for a technological company. Here is my CV and the job description. Give me 10 specific improvements and then make me a stronger candidate. Completely different result, because you've stopped asking for an answer and you've started giving direction. The second mistake beginners make is trying to learn AI tools simultaneously. And I see this constantly. They will search top 100 AI tools. You don't need 100. Just use one. And they'll install 15 to 20 on multiple different tabs. They'll watch endless YouTube videos and they'll end up really confused. Now imagine learning a guitar. You don't buy 20 instruments. You pick one and then you learn it properly. AI works in the exact same way. Just choose one. I'm all in on Claude and Claude Code. Genuinely, that's all I use now. I use ChatGPT here and there, but I just stick to one system. But if you have Claude, if you have ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever, doesn't matter. But just learn one deeply. Understand its personality, its strengths, its weaknesses, and most importantly, its rhythm. Because once you understand one AI model properly, the others become much easier. You begin recognizing patterns. You start understanding how to communicate with machines, and that skill transfers. The goal isn't learning tools, it's learning a completely new way of thinking. Imagine asking someone, how do I get here? And that's all you say. Where is this? Where are you now? Are you walking? Are you driving? Are you even flying? Right? Nobody can answer. That's AI without context, and context is the map. The more context you provide and the more intelligent, right, the AI will be able to support you with navigation. And I think of context in 4 different parts: memory, assets, actions, and prompts. Memory is from previous conversations. Assets are files, notes, and documents. Actions are things AI can do: search, analyze, and create. And then the actual prompt itself. People massively underestimate this. The smartest AI in the world sounds clueless if it has no context. But giving it information and it suddenly will start to feel magic. The machine didn't become smarter. You simply just gave it better ingredients. Now let's talk about where AI is genuinely extraordinary. Number 1, it's speed. AI can process information ridiculously quickly. Number 2, it's organization. Messy notes become structure. Chaos becomes clarity. Number 3, research. Summaries, comparisons, synthesis. Number 4, brainstorming, ideas, frameworks, angles, perspectives. I could go on and on. And then looking at number 5, which is going to be repetitive work, writing drafts, meeting summaries, reports, documentation. Honestly, I could sit here for 10 minutes listing this out. And this is where I think AI becomes most valuable. Not because it replaces humans, but because it removes friction. It removes the boring parts and it creates leverage. The founder can think more. The creator can create more. The consultant can spend more time advising. And that's exciting. Now let's talk about the dangerous part, because there is dangerous parts to it. AI is not magic. It makes mistakes, sometimes big ones. And the scary part, it often sounds incredibly confident while being completely wrong. That's going to happen. AI can invent facts, create fake statistics, misunderstand nuance, miss context, and hallucinate sources. And that's why verification matters. Never assume confidence equals accuracy. Treat AI like an incredibly bright intern. Capable, 100%. Fast, helpful, yeah. But are they going to be occasionally wrong? Yeah. So you need to have a little bit of judgment. And that's where humans matter. The people who win with AI won't be those who blindly trust it. They'll be the people who know when to question it properly. And I think the biggest mistake that people make with AI is they're using it as a vending machine. Prompt in, content out, done. That's just lazy. The real value comes from collaboration. Argue with it. Genuinely, I argue with AI every single day. Challenge it. Push back. Ask, what am I missing? What assumptions are we making? Why do you believe that? What is the counter argument? Can you give me another perspective? That's when it becomes so powerful, because you're not outsourcing your thinking. You're upgrading it. The best AI users aren't replacing their brains. They're amplifying them. And I think that's a completely different mindset. So where does this all go? Honestly, I think it becomes electricity. Eventually, it's just going to be everywhere. Not because people are obsessed with AI, but because people have stopped noticing it. Every single workflow, every single piece of software, every single business, every single industry, some form of intelligence becomes embedded into it. And the question isn't, will AI matter? The question has already been answered. The real question is, will you learn how to work with it? Because this isn't about technology. It's about leverage, the ability to think better, learn faster, create quicker, solve questions more, solve problems more effectively. And those advantages compound. So if you're completely new to AI, here is what I would remember. AI predicts. It doesn't think like you. Context changes everything. Learn one tool deeply. Use AI for leverage, not laziness. verify what it tells you, and most importantly, always treat it as an actual collaborator and not a replacement. Because I genuinely believe the next few years won't belong to the people with the biggest companies or most resources. They'll belong to the people who learn how to work intelligently alongside these tools. And the good news is, you're so early still. In this video, right, I've just touched on it. The AI race, yeah, it started, but we are at the start. But the best time to jump on is now and not in 12 months' time, because everything is accelerating. But before you go, I want to ask you this. This one's for business owners, right? And digital service providers who I genuinely think are ready to innovate. The people who are ready to actually step into this new AI era properly and not just trying to look at AI like a fancy Google. They're the type of people that I work with, and they're the type of people that I serve. And I serve hundreds of people. And what I do is I provide companies with a central operating system called Titan Code OS, which is literally everything from your objective data, subjective data, your goals, your growth plans, your KPIs, your reporting, your software, your check-ins, everything in one single place. And rather than having 40 different sheets that you're trying to manage your company on inside of a Google Drive, you've got one central operating system where you can actually communicate with it. That's what predictable growth looks like. It's building intelligence. And on top of that, I provide my clients with direct copy and paste SOPs to set up their own Claude AI system for projects, code at high level, which removes all of the guesswork and mistakes that you make trying to do it yourself. So if you want to find out a little bit more about what we do, then I'd love for you to apply in the link in the description, right? I'd love for you to book a call. And if you're not subscribing, please subscribe.